President Trump pushing ahead with his America First agenda.
Breaking news, Apple announced it's going to work with Foxconn to build a server factory in Texas by 2026.
The company says it is now planning to invest $500 billion in the U.S. economy.
The CEO of SoftBank pledging to invest $100 billion.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, American history. It's our declaration of economic independence. My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn.
Two-day loss exceeds $6 trillion. New York Stock Exchange closes the week with a sharp decline. The New York Stock Exchange closed with a sharp decline following the tariff announcements and China's retaliatory decision. The two-day sharp decline in the indices caused a loss of over $6 trillion, while approximately $10 trillion has been wiped out of U.S. markets since Trump took office. The New York Stock Exchange closed the last trading day of the week with a sharp decline as the sell-off deepened following the tariff announcements. At the close, the Dow Jones index lost over 2,200 points and fell by 5.5% to 38,314.86 points. The S&P 500 index fell by 5.97% to 5,074.08 points, and the Nasdaq index fell by 5.82% to 15,587.79 points. The weekly decline in the indexes was 7.9% for the Dow Jones, 9.1% for the S&P 500 and 10% for the Nasdaq. Stock markets, which were subject to a sharp sell-off following the bilateral tariffs announced by U.S. President Donald Trump this week, increased their losses on the last trading day of the week following retaliatory statements. China announced that it will impose additional tariffs at the same rate in response to the 34% customs duty increase imposed by the U.S. on products imported from the country within the scope of bilateral tariffs. Trump said in a post on his social media account, "China misplayed, they panicked. This is the one thing they can't afford." He also stated that they had a productive meeting with Vietnamese President Lam, and that Vietnam wanted to reduce tariffs to 0% if it could make a deal with the US. Worst since 2020. Analysts pointed out that the decline in the indices reached the highest rate since 2020 and said that China's retaliation and fears about global trade wars deepened the losses in the market. The sharp two-day decline in the indices caused a loss of over $6 trillion, while approximately $10 trillion has been wiped out of U.S. markets since Trump took office. On the macroeconomic data front, non-farm employment in the U.S. increased by 228,000 people in March, exceeding expectations, while the unemployment rate increased from 4.1% to 4.2%. Trump said of the employment data, "Great numbers, much better than expected. It's already working. Hold on tight. We can't lose." Fear index, also at highest level since the pandemic, the U.S. 10-year Treasury bond interest rate fell by about 5 basis points to 4%.